A man is leading his family to explore an underground cave, but because the passageway is too narrow, he ends up stuck upside down in a rock crevice, unable to move. A massive rescue operation quickly unfolds. Just when he thinks he's about to be saved, an accident causes him to plummet deeper into the abyss. Later, his father crawls into the cave to attempt to rescue himself, only to get stuck as well. And this is the story of the Nutty Putty Cave incident. Nutty Putty Cave is located in Utah, USA. It was first explored and named by Dale Green and his friends back in 1960. Considered an entry-level cave, Nutty Putty isn't known for being extremely difficult, but its structure is incredibly complex. The cave is 413 meters long and 44 meters deep. However, due to the angles, the maps can be very deceiving. For example, while the top-down view looks spacious, other angles reveal some extremely narrow and dangerous tunnels. That's why between 1999 and 2004, 6 different people got stuck inside the cave. Fortunately, all 6 of them were eventually rescued, even though it seemed like only a matter of time before a major accident happened. The management sealed the cave with an iron gate in 2006, but due to public pressure, it was reopened in 2009. As fate would have it, John, who was back in Utah visiting family, happened to be there for the reopening. 26-year-old John was a medical student living in Virginia. He and his wife, whom he met in college, had a 1-year-old daughter. At the time, his wife Emily was also 3 months pregnant. So, besides visiting family, they were back to share the happy news that they were expecting their second child. Since their father had taken them caving all over the place growing up, his younger brother Josh suggested a group trip to explore the newly reopened Nutty Putty Cave. However, no one could have predicted that tragedy was about to strike. It's 8 p.m. on November 24, 2009. John, his brother Josh, and a few friends arrive at the cave entrance. It's worth noting that this was actually John's first time exploring Nutty Putty Cave. They enter the cave one by one through the opening. The entrance is about 1.8 meters wide. Once inside, it drops down about 4.6 meters underground. From there, the tunnel splits into 2 directions. The north tunnel to the left leads to areas like the maze, the big slide, and the fissures. Heading right into the south tunnel takes you to the big slide, the birth canal, the aorta, and the vein. The big slide is the most spacious area in the entire cave. Visitors can even slide down from the higher points. Everything goes smoothly at first. For the first hour, the 4 of them explore relatively safe areas like the big slide and the maze. The chambers they pass through are tight but manageable. Everyone is laughing and the mood is light. Maybe they get bored with the easy stuff, because a friend suggests tackling the most popular spot in the cave, the birth canal. It's a tiny passageway located to the right of the big slide. You can tell just by the name how tight it is. But on the other side, it opens up into a large chamber. They say if you can squeeze through, you'll experience a sense of relief like being born again. Caught up in the excitement, the group agrees and starts crawling toward the birth canal. But what John doesn't realize is that by being at the front of the line, he is crawling straight toward his grave. John intended to take the birth canal on the right, but he unknowingly takes a wrong turn into the Ed's Push tunnel on the left. This winding 4.5-meter passage is only about 30 centimeters wide. Plus, sharp rocks sticking out from the walls force cavers to twist their bodies into extreme positions. Because of this, only the smallest people can usually make it through. But keep in mind, John weighs 91 kilograms and stands 1.83 meters tall. He has to exhale to shrink his chest and stomach just to squeeze through. This also means that at this point, John can't turn around. When he reaches a steep downward slope, he keeps pushing forward headfirst. By the time he reaches the end of this path, he finds himself facing a nearly vertical, narrow rock crevice. Still convinced this is the birth canal everyone talks about, John takes a deep breath and slowly slides his body into the vertical crack. But the space here is barely wider than a sheet of paper. John has to forcefully exhale to compress his chest just to move an inch. But the moment he takes his next breath, the rock walls lock his body tight. His lungs are squeezed, breathing becomes hard, and blood rushes to his head. As panic sets in, he can only manage short, labored gasps to call out his brother Josh's name. Josh hears the cries and crawls over as fast as he can. When he sees only John's feet sticking out, he realizes how serious the situation is. Josh tries to grab John's legs to pull him up, but every attempt just makes John slide further down. Realizing it's beyond his help, Josh backs out of the tunnel as fast as possible and heads for the surface. He calls emergency services for help. It's 12:30 a.m. Susie, a local volunteer who knows the cave well, is the first to reach John. By now, John has been trapped for 3 hours. Susie speaks to him in a calming voice to comfort him. Despite the pain, John is still conscious and alert. Susie ties a rescue rope around John's legs. The team on the surface tries to give it a pull, but the tunnel is too narrow and the angle is all wrong. The repeated pulling only causes John more agony. After nearly 2 hours of effort, John hasn't budged an inch. Susie is exhausted. It's clear that brute force alone isn't going to work. Meanwhile, rescuers on the surface are brainstorming. Some of the ideas are extremely risky, like breaking John's legs or pouring lubricant into the crack to slide him out. They even consider using small explosives. But these are all rejected because the risks are just too high. The team finally decides that the safest plan is to build a mechanical pulley system. The plan is to drill holes into the cave walls, install metal pulleys as anchors, thread the ropes through them, and tie the other end to John's legs. This way, the pulleys can provide upward leverage to help hoist John out of the crevice. The idea seems solid, but putting it into practice is incredibly difficult. Remember, this passage only fits one person at a time. That means whether you're carrying tools or helping with the rescue, every round trip takes nearly an hour. Plus, they can only bring in small handheld tools. This makes the work painfully slow, and loose rocks keep falling on John, adding even more danger to an already desperate situation. Beyond that, the human body isn't built to be upside down. According to the doctors on site, if someone stays upside down for 8 to 10 hours, their organs can begin to fail irreversibly. John has been in this position for over 12 hours, pushing his body far past its breaking point. Along with the physical pain, John's mental state is crumbling. The exhausted Susie has been replaced by another rescuer, Ryan. Ryan speaks softly to John, but John's responses are confused. It's clear he has started to hallucinate. To keep his spirits up, the rescue team lowers a cable down to John's position, so he can speak directly to his wife, Emily, on the surface. Emily chokes back tears as she comforts her husband. She talks about their unborn baby. For a brief moment, John seems to snap back to reality. He firmly promises his wife that he'll be out soon. By now, there are over 100 people in the rescue crew. Medics, engineers, caving experts, and volunteers are working in tight shifts. Finally, after 19 hours, the pulley system is ready. Ryan stays down there by John's side. He helps guide John's body, while coordinating with the team above. As the rope is slowly pulled, John's body begins to lift inch by inch out of the crack. But his legs, stuck for over a dozen hours, are stiff and swollen. Every movement sends a jolt of agony through his entire body. The rescuers have to pause to let John rest before pulling again. Bit by bit, through these repeated attempts, most of John's body is finally clear of the crevice. Ryan can actually see John's face now. John's eyes are bloodshot, and his forehead is covered in dust and sweat. Ryan asks him how he's doing. Incredibly, John even manages to crack a joke despite the situation. For a moment, it really looks like they've turned a corner, but as they prepare for the fourth pull, the rock gives way. The anchor bolt holding the pulley snaps right out of the wall. It strikes Ryan in the face, knocking him unconscious instantly. In an instant, all their hard work is gone. Without the tension of the rope, John's body drops suddenly and slams back into the rock walls. This time, he is stuck even deeper than before. Ryan eventually wakes up and crawls back to the surface. With Ryan injured, John's father, Dave, decides to go down and help his son himself. Driven by the desperate need to save his boy, Dave works so hard to reset the rope that he gets himself stuck and unable to move. After struggling for about 15 minutes, he finally manages to break free, completely exhausted. In the end, Dave has no choice but to leave the cave. As time ticks away, John slips back to the edge of consciousness. A fourth rescuer, Brandon, reaches him and calls out his name. There is no answer. He taps John's body, but there's still no response. By now, John has completely lost consciousness. A medic is sent in to check on John. He carefully checks for a pulse, and finds that John has no signs of life. At 11:52 p.m. on November 25, 2009, John Edward Jones is pronounced dead. It is only minutes away from Thanksgiving Day. After 27 grueling hours, and with over 130 rescuers involved, they ultimately couldn't save his life. Emily screams and begs the rescuers not to give up, but her pleas can't change the tragic reality. John's parents want to recover their son's body, but it turns out that retrieving the remains is even harder than the rescue attempt. They are forced to leave their son inside the cave forever. Afterward, Nutty Putty Cave is permanently sealed with concrete. A memorial featuring John's photo is placed at the site. The following June, their baby is born. They name him John. 3 years later, Emily meets her new husband, Donovan. On her wedding day, John's father even walks Emily down the aisle. Emily and Donovan have since had 2 more children. The new family has found happiness and peace together. In 2016, this story was made into a movie. The film covers everything from the accident to Emily's remarriage. And just this year, a Polish developer turned Nutty Putty Cave into a VR game. It allows people to visit the cave through virtual reality. It's a different way to explore the cave, in a much safer environment.